And in this last module of this introductory chapter here in our tutorial on Word 2007, I want to go back and touch on some of the views that we mentioned in the previous module. So this will come into play not only with the documents that you might be working on and creating from scratch, but also ones that you're sent from other people. You're going to open it up and then you're going to be dealing with one of the views. And this will also give me a chance to explore another part of the Word 2007 interface that we didn't get a chance to mention in our previous modules. So when I got the file open, and in fact talk about opening files, which is kind of another distinct skill in this application, we'll talk about that in the next chapter. But for now, just assuming that we've already got the document open, we deal with the views by clicking on the View tab of the ribbon, and then over here in our Document Views section, there are 5 that I can deal with. The print layout is the default. What you see is what you get. What I see on the screen is what I'm going to see when I take it out of the printer. But I also have views like the full screen reading view, which changes the interface here. It takes all of the ribbon out of the way, and it lets me deal with just the document as almost as if I would a book. Now I have access to tools. I can send, I can save, I can send it to the printer. You can see here along the top row here I can highlight, and this is something that a lot of reviewers sometimes use as I'm dealing with the document. I say, should score in 7, are we sure about this? And I can highlight that and come back to it later. I have other view options like to increase text size to show one up pages or 2 pages at a time. And when I'm done with what I need to do in this full screen view, this full screen reading view, I can close out of it just by clicking close in the upper right hand side. Web layout shows me the document as if it were a web page or as it would look on a web page. The draft gets kind of everything that's unnecessary out of the way, the headers and footers, and even the picture. Notice if I click on draft here, that picture goes away, then I just make edits to the text. And the outline view will actually once again switch the ribbon and present right at my fingertips my outlining tool. So I'm not going to go into it in any kind of detail right here. I just want to point out that even if you're dealing with something like changing the views, sometimes that will affect what's in your ribbon. So if I want to indent, outdent, and so on, Word 2007 makes it very, very easy to configure and manipulate an outline, which again I'll point out in future modules. To close that outline view, of course, on the right hand side of the ribbon, there's the Close Outline View. Hard to miss, that big X there. And you go back to the default, which is the Print Preview or the Print View. Now, you can also get to all of these elements that I just mentioned here in this section down here, and this is what's called the status bar. And this is again something that has changed, or been updated I should say, with Word 2007. It has some new bells and whistles and certainly is very, very easy to customize. So for example, you see the number of words, the page count, your proofreading section down here. All of this is very customizable with a right click, and then I could decide what's in here. Again, I'll come back to this later on. But what I want to point out here is we're dealing with the views and manipulating how we view text on the screen. I've got these little options down here: web layout, full screen reading, outline, and draft. So I don't even have to go to the View tab. I can just use the status bar to make those very same changes that I just showed you. Finally, another easy way to manipulate or deal with text on a screen is to use this zoom slider. So this is easier than it was before. If your text or if your documents are filling up too much of your screen, it would be easier to see the whole page if I zoomed in or out. I get a very smooth way to do just that by again going in and magnifying things, or by clicking and sliding out to make things fit on a page a little bit better. So there's the zoom slider, which you can control with the buttons, the plus and the minus buttons, or you can just click and drag the zoom slider, as you can see here. So that, in conjunction with the print layout buttons, can make it very easy to deal with what you're looking at on your screen.